Right, let's go then. Let's crack on. Let's get started. One of my favorites in the whole 6 weeks, this. So I think this is kind of a bit of the glue that holds it all together. Because it's all right knowing the tactics, it's all right having the tricks, it's all right knowing details, but you need to know what's going to hold it all together for the long term. And I think what we're going to cover tonight might be some things you haven't thought about, haven't considered, and it might give you some light bulb moments, I hope. So let's go through it, ask questions as normal as we go, and let's get into it. So tonight, I entitled it Mantras, Moods, Energy, and Gratitude. I want to start this off with this, which is you've got a choice here. How you live your life, there's two ways, really. I don't think there's a third or a fourth. I think there's two. I believe you should focus on the positive because you're either going to water the flowers every day of your life or you're going to water the weeds. And one of them is going to grow. So you're going to see more of one or more of the other. So obviously this is a metaphor, but what we often do is we focus on what's wrong, what's bad, what we don't have, why things are going wrong, and then we guess what? We're watering that, we're putting the energy on that. And remember what I've always said as well, choose what you put your attention on and you focus on. Because if we're watering the weeds, the negative things, all the things that aren't going as we want, we tend to see more of it show up in our life. You always hear people say, why do I always choose the wrong kind of person? Because you tend to focus on the wrong kind of things, ask the wrong kind of questions, and guess what? You get the wrong things popping up in your life. Because you actually put it out into the universe, you think about it, you manifest it, and guess what? It shows up. So remember, you're either watering flowers or you're watering weeds every day. First little drill tonight. I want you to think about the following. I want you to choose what you want to feel. Because bearing in mind, feelings aren't injected into you, they are a choice. So we just started off saying how we choose whether we focus on the good or the not so good. So what do you want to feel in a day? Do you want to feel energized? Do you want to feel excited? Do you want to feel like you're in control of your destiny? Do you want to feel that you are steering the ship? Do you want to feel that you are unshakable? Do you want to feel that you are empowered? Do you want to feel confident? Do you want to feel like nobody will mess with you? And this is how you want to attack your life. So moving forwards, actually being conscious about how you want to feel. Because your feelings, a lot of people are like a leaf blowing in the wind. Anything takes you in any direction. You just wake up and see what the day brings rather than being intentional about today. I want to feel excited about my workout. I want to feel good about the meeting I've got today. You want to go into everything being intentional about what you want. And it includes how you feel about your day and your life. Anybody write down any words personal to them? What did you put down? Shout them out.
I've put prepared.
What did you say?
I've put prepared.
Prepared for war, prepared for battle, prepared for the day, prepared for what life throws at you. Yeah, good.
Motivated.
Motivated, yeah. Disciplined, in control, happy, unfuckwithable. It can be anything, whatever's personal to you. But it's just about making sure you have, because it's all right having something that's a bit airy fairy and woo woo woo. It needs something to be personal to you. So if you want to feel in control of your destiny and you just want to feel like you are unshakable, sturdy, in control, prepared, That's one school of thought. Some people want to feel driven, motivated, excited. It's what you want to feel, and this is what this drill is about. There's no right or wrong answers. What you want, what this has to be, though, the caveat to this is, and think about this afterwards, is it can't be what you don't want. So you can't say, I don't want to be scared today. I don't want to feel threatened. I don't want to, because your brain doesn't process negation like that. And the negative, your brain then just goes into and looks for more of it. So this wants to be the exact opposite of what you don't want. You're looking at what you do want. How do I want to feel? So moving forwards beyond the experiment, I want you to think about this and look at your life and go into your days. How do I actually want to feel? What does this week mean to me? How do I want to go through this week? Don't, just like I said, be the proverbial leaf blowing in the wind. Because if you don't feel that you've got your shit together and you don't feel that you are in control and excited and happy and confident, prepared, motivated, disciplined, it's easy for outside noise to get in and just take you off course all the time. So this is about being very intentional again. Okay, next one. Then connecting the dots. So it's all right saying I want to be prepared. I want to be motivated. Why? So if you want to be motivated, why do I want to be motivated? Because it will make me train. It will make me be the person I want to be. If you've wrote prepared, because it will keep my food prep on track and keep my diet on point long term. I want to feel excited. This is because I feel a sense of energy when I do that, and I will do more and I'll get to the gym more. So connect the dots from the three things you put about your feelings. This is because. So you're connecting it to what it's going to give you. This is how I want to feel, but what is that short term, long term going to get me? Yeah, the excitement, the motivation, it's going to make me be more consistent in the gym. Therefore, I get better results. So just think about that for a second before we move on. So I want you to do that and just think about, it's all right saying what you want to feel, but ultimately, what's that going to get me? Both today, next week, next month, next year. So if I said, for example, I want to feel excited every day, that could be because it's going to give me energy even when I'm feeling tired. And if I feel excited, I'll snap out of any sort of like lulls and I'll go and do it. I'll go the walk. I will prep the meal even if I can't be bothered. And I'll go to the gym even if I don't feel like it, because that sense of excitement of what's coming, what it's going to bring me. The short-term loss of the workout, if I'm tired, is a long-term gain because I know I've ticked another box and I'm even closer. All right. Makes sense? Any questions? Or are we all right moving on? Good. The next thing is I'm willing to do. So you say how you want to feel. You say why. What I'm willing to do. And hopefully 1, 2, and 3 will be things like whatever is required, what I need to do. I'm willing to do what's uncomfortable. I'm willing to do the work even when I'm tired, even when I'm stressed, even when my friends are trying to drag me off course. I'm willing to do the work. So yeah, you choose your feelings, connect the dots where it's going to take you if you feel that way on a day. And if you feel energized, you feel motivated, you feel empowered, you feel in control, you're likely to take better action. But you've also got to look at what I'm willing to do. I'm willing to reframe, ask better questions. So if I'm not feeling the way I want to feel, what am I willing to do? Get out the environment, go walk around the block, change my state, get up, puff my chest up, put my head back, do some deep breathing. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get my mind in the right frame of mind to feel the way I want to feel. Because you've got to have these coping strategies and say what you're willing to do to snap out of it. If you've gone off track in a funk, or you're feeling like you can't be asked, or I'm having a bad week, what am I willing to do to get out of that moment? What am I willing to do to get back on track? Ring my friend who I said I was going to get in shape so they can shout abuse at me and tell me that I'm full of shit. It can be anything that just gives you a kick up the arse to get you back on track. What am I willing to do? Yeah. So think about things you're willing to do. Because it's all right putting, I'm willing to do anything and everything, but are you? Are you willing to get in a cold shower to change your mood? Get in a cold bath, put some ice cubes in there. Are you willing to do it? Yes or no? You might not be willing to do it. But what are you willing to do to change how you feel in the moment to get you to do what you need to do? All right. So there's three things for you to think about as well. What are you willing to do? Think about that carefully. Energy. So energy is not something we create. Energy is only transferred, and we create energy through certain things. One, controlling our focus. So if you think about what you focus on can either give you energy or it doesn't. Sometimes you watch a YouTube motivational video and you focus on it, and it might be somebody who inspires you. It might be somebody working out, doing what you want to do, looking how you want to look. And that controlled focus can quickly change your state. It can give you that energy to go, right, yeah, I'm going to the gym. Controlling your focus might be putting on a song that gets you in a certain state, that amps you up. We've all got those kind of songs, those kind of theme tunes that do that. So controlling your focus, what you focus on, what you see, what you hear, and your environment, controlling your focus. Two, asking the right questions. So again, if you want to create energy, if you ask the wrong questions, it's not going to work. How can I feel better right now? How can I lift my mood? How can I boost myself to get to the gym? Asking the right questions. Will the future me thank me right now if I sit on my ass and don't go to the gym? Am I going to create the body I want by not walking, not training, ordering this big takeaway I'm just about to order? Yeah. It gives you empowerment and control and energy in the right path. Your nutrition and your hydration. If you're putting wholesome foods in, the right vitamins, minerals, protein, good fats, you're well hydrated. All these things there will help you create energy. If you're dehydrated, if you've got poor nutrition, you ain't going to have maximum energy. We all know as well, good sleep is vital to that. If you sleep poorly or you don't sleep enough, you're never going to have the energy you need to do the work you want and to think clearly day in, day out, make the right choices. Because remember, energy helps you make the right decisions. When it comes to your food choices, prepping food, getting to the gym, going a walk, going a run, your energy is crucial for making the right choice, whether you do or you don't. And daily movement. Now, motion creates emotion and creates energy. We all know if you've been sat down too long, you can feel tired. If you're in the car too long driving, even though you've done nothing, it can be tiring. being in motion, walking around as often as you can, standing up, creating any kind of movement helps. Even getting out of your office chair every 20 minutes, going a walk round, pouring a pint of water, up and down the stairs a couple of times. It just gets the blood flowing, the lymphatic system going. It gets oxygenated blood around the body. So you've got to move more. So when we're looking at energy, focus, questions, nutrition, hydration, good sleep, daily movement, they all matter. All of them do. Next questions. This is something I hear a lot. I don't have the energy. Ah. If you had more energy, what would you do? Would it be 5 workouts a week instead of 4? Would it be an extra walk every day? Would it be going a hike on a Sunday or a Saturday? If you had more energy, rather than slumping in front of the TV, would you spend a little bit more time prepping your meals rather than being just, laid there all evening watching Netflix? I don't know. It's about you and your life. If you had more energy, what would you do? Because usually when you have more energy, you think clearly, you make better decisions as well. So one of the key things I've found with people is when you increase their energy, they make better decisions. Because if you're tired, you tend to make worse decisions around food and around exercise, usually. Because what happens is if you're tired, you tend to reach for highly palatable, sugary junk foods to change your mood and your state because they give you quick energy. No one who's low on energy reaches for a nice salad usually. It's usually the Haribo gums, the midget gems, chocolate, things like that, because they give you a quick boost of energy, which cause a crash later on. Yeah. So think about that for a second. Make some notes. If you have more energy, it might just be you go for a morning walk. If you woke up feeling a bit more energized, you get something in before you go to work. You might pretty much have it all dialed in otherwise. But there might be 1, 2, 3 things that you would do personally if you had more energy. Like I said, it might be 4 workouts instead of 3, 5 instead of 4. It might be a morning workout every morning. It might be a lunchtime, going a jog around the block on your lunch break, 10, 15 minutes. This is personal to you. What would you do if you had more energy? Next one. So moving forwards, what we want to do is create momentum. So as we start building better habits, more self-awareness, being honest with ourselves, having tough questions like we've talked about, when you have a day or a week that doesn't go to plan, asking yourself those tough questions. We want to start creating momentum and building these habits into our life. And belief as well. As we put these tools together, the physical, the training, the nutrition, the mindset, building more energy, being accountable to yourself and to others, we start then building belief that there is a more positive future for us because you have the tools, you're not guessing. You feel more in control of your mind. You feel, well, actually, I know how to train. I know what I should be eating. I know the calories. I know some of the things I need to do on my mind. I know the questions I should be asking, and I know what I should be tracking. All these things help you build confidence, momentum, and belief that actually, apart from me sabotaging myself, actually, I can do this. I can move forwards and I can create what I want. And again, a reminder, a positive, grateful outlook always finds a way. A low energy, negative mind finds an excuse. If you think about water that's consistent, how it cuts through rock, this is what you need to be. You need to be consistent. You need to forge your own path forwards through whatever obstacle is in your way. But if you're in low energy, low vibrational frequency, a negative mind, you will always find an excuse. There's only two things. You find a way or you find an excuse. You need to look at your life in that way. Your training, nutrition, mindset, everything. Find a way or find an excuse. And I'm giving you the tools to find your own way. But you've got to choose that way rather than choosing the negative option. Okay. So one of the books I put in the group the other week in the reading list, one of them was I'll see it when I believe it. And that is gratitude for you. The book is all about reframing how people normally think, which is I'll believe it when I see it. But I challenge you all to live your life in a way of I'll see it when I believe it. So it starts with the belief and the actions around your beliefs, and eventually it shows up in your life. Because if you believe something big, powerfully, and you believe it consistently, your mind starts looking for ways to achieve it. And you take actions upon your own beliefs, positive or negative, and they eventually, usually, prove you right in a good way or a not so good way. So this is why I say be grateful for things that you have and grateful for things you want to come into your life. Hence, I'll see it when I believe it. So if you haven't got the book yet, I'd get it, have a good read through it. It makes a lot of sense, and it does challenge your current thinking. Okay, what three things am I grateful for today? A question I challenge you all to ask every day. Just three things. You could be grateful for a wonderful night's sleep. You could be grateful for a workout where you did one rep more than you did last week. You could be grateful for today, I actually hit my protein goal, I hit my water goal, and I hit my calorie goal. All three for the first time. It could be you had a great conversation with an old friend. It's picking out the small wins in your day. They don't have to be colossal. I got up on time for the third day in a row. You're grateful for it. An old friend reached out and we've arranged to meet next week. All these little positive things in your life, find them, pick up on them. I had a conversation today that I wouldn't have had 6 weeks ago because I had the uncomfortable conversation and I felt confident in myself. These can be anything, but I use something called the 6-minute diary. And on a daily basis, here we go. I'm not full of shit. I do it myself every day. So one day here, and this was just a random page, I'm grateful for a long, good sleep. Simple. Driving over to see the gym today, I was grateful for that. And I had a catch up with my mum. Nothing groundbreaking, but just simple things that you can be grateful for. One day I was feeling strong. Must have had a good workout. I'm grateful for early rise, feeling fresh. They can be all simple things. They don't have to be, like I said, groundbreaking. Blue skies and a gorgeous day. Looking forward to the week ahead. So they're the kind of things you can put. But you can do it when you wake up. You can do it when you go to bed. But they're the two times of day to do this. When you wake up, morning coffee, write them down, or just before you go to bed. Okay?
What was that book called again, Giles? I called you Giles then. Sorry, Miles. What is 6-minute diary?
The 6-minute diary. And it has literally like a week. It's got a weekly review in there as well, where there's like a habit tracker.
Oh, you know what? I think I've seen something like that. Does it? It's a bit of a book to begin with, and the theory behind it, and then it has loads of journal pages at the back, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Is that right?
there's a couple of them like it. Yeah, there's I've had a couple of different ones. This is the one I'm using at the minute. And it's got a weekly like notes and ideas, habit tracker where you can track things, and it asks you questions at the end of each week.
Bro.
So moving forwards, they're not a bad investment, things like that. On Amazon, pretty straightforward, pretty simple. I'm not on commission.
Do you find it better actually writing it? Because a lot of people do it electronically, don't they? But do you find writing it better? Because I'm sure you've tried a million and one things, knowing you.
Yeah, two things. I find having a tracking sheet where it's a tick box thing. I think they're quite simple. You can use digital on those where you're just ticking boxes. So you get like your scorecard. I don't mind if you do digitally, they work, no problem. But anything where you've actually got to think about your words and write things out, where you're thinking what you're grateful for, or if you're thinking about what went well this week, what didn't go well this week, things like that. I like to handwrite them. I can then type them later, but I like to handwrite them. There's a lot of research on when you actually physically handwrite, it connects certain parts of your brain, creative parts of your brain. It's okay then, and once I've written it, you can type it up and save it on your computer if you want. But I do find initially writing them down in a book on paper, then type it later.
I agree with that. Writing physically really does work.
Yeah.
Long-term memory, connected learning is just everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and as well, it takes us back to all the simpler times where, we used to write on cave walls, didn't we, and things like that. I think
I was
there's
going to
some,
say you were chiseling your way through.
yeah. Just gonna say, I think there's something literally we're hardwired for things like that. So I think writing it down does work, and I'm happy then sometimes I type things up in notes and save them, but I like writing them down initially. Okay, so grateful. 3 things a day, morning or night. And the reason about that is what you appreciates. I wrote underneath, it's like a snowball going down a hill. It's building, it's getting bigger, and it's going faster. If you appreciate the good things in your life, however small, you start to look for them. Like I said, the reticular activating system in your brain looks for things that you are looking for, and it finds them subconsciously. And then, it's like when you buy a red car, you always start seeing more red cars, don't you? Because you're looking for them. So you want to be, like I said, being grateful, gratitude. You start focusing on things that you then start looking for more and more. I'm grateful that my diet went well today. You start looking for ways to make your diet go well. So I know they're only small things, but we've talked about before the compound effect of small things. So every day, if you focus on what's good in your life, you find more things that are good. And you start looking for more things that are good in your life. And your brain starts connecting the dots between them. Okay? So like I said, if you appreciate things they appreciate, you get more of it. And something here that I always say to clients is you don't need permission to be happy. Now, permission comes in many forms, and usually people see it as destinations. We've all said it, haven't we? I'll be happy when I'm 12 stone. I'll be happy when I'm a size 8. I'll be happy when I can deadlift 60 kilo. I'll be happy when I get the job that pays XYZ. I'll be happy when I get the promotion. I'll be happy when I get the girl, when I get the boy. I'll be happy when. And the sad thing there is we're falling in love with outcomes and not the process. And we need to find joy and happiness in the doing. That's where the winning is. Because we all have seen and we've all listened to people who've got there, the millionaires, the billionaires, the rock stars, the movie stars who end up addicted to painkillers because they got the destination and they realized actually the journey was the fun bit. That's where they should have been happy. But they skip the happiness process to the end and realize, well, actually, I was happier when I was actually making it, when I was on the path, when I was getting stronger, when I was getting, leaner, when I was learning. So you don't need that permission to wait until you've achieved that end goal, that big hairy goal at the end. And this is a lot of the conversations I have during a week. I'll be happy when, and people don't seem to feel that they can give themselves permission while they are on the path to to be grateful, to be happy, to feel positive, to feel excited. All the things I've said before, how do you want to feel each day? Well, you can feel them now. You don't have to feel them at the end. Because trust me, at the end, you've got to be careful what you wish for sometimes. And I say this to people because every part of your journey brings different challenges. People say, when I get the body I want, I will be happy. But when you're fighting off the girls and the boys with a stick and everything, and you look so hot and sexy, it brings different challenges. It's when people go to different points in their career, it brings different stresses, longer work days. It brings all sorts of problems that you didn't envisage. You all just thought it comes just with no downsides. So I encourage you all to choose how you feel on your journey. And don't wait until the end of your journey to say, I'll be happy. Because if you do that, you will keep sabotaging on your journey because you think, well, I'll never get to that end goal. It's too far in the distance. You've got to look at the daily micro things. Be happy in the process. Be happy. Be grateful for the small wins. Score yourself. Even if you're weak, even if your day hasn't gone to plan, there are always some wins in there. There are lessons. Because even when you fail, which I don't believe in failure, I just believe in results which aren't quite what you want, but you always learn. You only fail when you stop learning. And there's lessons in everything. Okay? And this is what I always say. Fall in love with the process. Don't be seduced by just outcomes. Because if you fall in love with the process, you stick to the process. And guess what? If you follow the process, you get the outcome anyway. Because let's be honest, if you are trying to lose weight, you hit your target calories, you hit your steps, you lift some weights 3 or 4 days a week, you're hydrated. If you follow that process, 80–90% of the time, you will lose weight. If you lift weights, you're in a slight calorie surplus. You get stronger all the time, you have high protein, you will gain muscle and you will gain weight. If you save money and invest money well over time, you will build a portfolio of wealth in 20, 30, 40 years' time. It is about the process. This is why I've got you all scoring the daily basics. Because even though they are basics, they are the process to fall in love with. And when you're ticking those boxes, even when there is a cross and not a tick, the process as well is falling in love with the lessons of why. Because if you haven't got the awareness and the lessons, you never learn and you never progress. So when you've had a week that hasn't gone to plan, when you've had a day that hasn't gone to plan, the process of learning why it's a cross and not a tick should be little light bulb moments that you think and you look back on and think, yes, I remember when. I remember when I just couldn't get that thing just dialed in. I couldn't get it right. But I kept looking for next week, what am I going to do? What am I going to do tomorrow so I don't do X? And that process of searching for the answers in yourself. Because if you keep making the same mistakes day after day after day, week after week, ask yourself the tough questions. Why is this happening? Why am I not doing what I said I would do? And then look at your environment, look at the questions, look at your state, look at your energy, look at all these factors that we've given you the tools to use. And you can then put the processes in place to make you more successful at hydration, nutrition, sleep, training, movement, your mindset. So it's all about the process and falling in love with it, being grateful, choosing how you feel, asking tough questions, and tracking it all. And as well, when we talked about I'll be happy when, when you reach that big goal, when you get the promotion, when you get the girl, get the boy, get the salary, whatever it is, squat 100 kilo, whatever it may be for you, these big goals you've set yourself, you need to look at rewarding yourself along the way, the small wins. So if you think about where your challenges have been, it might be sticking to calories, it might be not binging on a weekend, it might be hitting 4 weight sessions a week. Whatever these things are to you, whichever your biggest challenges are, reward yourself. And rewarding yourself, it can be buying yourself the dress you want, buying the outfit, buying the shirt, buying the suit jacket you've always wanted to get into and feel great. Treating yourself to a massage each week, once a month. Say to yourself, if I do the following, I will book a massage next week. I'll book a spa day next month. If I hit this goal, it might be a kilogram body weight goal. It might be when I've added 5 more kilo to my bench press. It could be anything. Small little wins. I'm going to treat myself to this. And like I've put on here, remember, you're not a dog. Treating yourself doesn't have to be food and drink. It can be anything. It can be an overnight stay somewhere you've always wanted to go and go out a walk, a nice meal somewhere at a restaurant you've never been. It doesn't have to be a gallon of ale. Okay. So rewarding yourself, because remember, like I said, don't wait till the end to be happy. Fall in love with the process. Reward yourself along the way. It can be weekly, it can be monthly, but set yourself up with little targets to hit. When you hit them, reward yourself. So when I've done my calories consistently, I will do X. I'll treat myself to Y. When I've got a score higher than I have done on my weekly tracker sheet. So if you've been scoring 25 and you want to hit 35, for example, on your tracker, you might say, when I hit 35, I'm buying myself the shirt that I wanted for a couple of months. Yeah, it doesn't have to be some massive, great, when I've dropped 5 stone. Little process wins, reward yourself. Right, guys. So questions, any questions on the week you've had? Any questions on what we've covered tonight? Anyone want to go? Anything not quite working for you? Anything that you're struggling with? Because if you are, somebody else might be. Don't be shy.
I'll start off. Very important and very good topic today, which was covering the energy, because I think we could all do with more energy, because when I've got more energy, I can do a lot more things.
Yeah, 100%. But also as well, energy is one of those things we all know when you are low energy, when you feel like you don't have energy, the words that tend to come out of your mouth are, I can't be bothered. or I can't, well, or the worst one, I can't be arsed. So that can then mean, well, that walk I was going to do, that gym session, I was going to go and cook some chicken and just prep a few meals for the next couple of days. When you're low energy, those things that are going to get you results long term don't tend to happen. So working on your mindset and your energy and your feelings, and your gratitude, they are important. And we forget them because we talked about building the base of the pyramid, sturdy foundations. And if you've got good energy consistently because you do consistently good things to create the energy, you consistently then do more workouts, eat better, which means you get better results and the momentum increases and the snowball goes down the hill quicker. We get there faster.
Absolutely. Another question was people who travel, if they're working, if they are driving, if they're going on to long drives, how do they keep up with their training? And how can they keep up with that motivation if they're long hours driving?
Yeah, so if you're driving, couple of things. One, in your car, stay hydrated. That's massively important because obviously, if you're not hydrated, you always snack because dehydration triggers hunger in the brain, and you'll be pulling in at every service station for a Greggs, for chocolate, McDonald's, Burger King, anything. So stay as hydrated as you can. I would always say that. Secondly, in your car, always have something that is there if you do feel a hunger pang. So it might be apples, it might be banana, it might be blueberries, it might be a couple of protein bars, something that is a better choice than what you're going to get at the services. So, like I've always said to you all, it's always about making the best available choices. So, control the environment in your car, have water, and have some decent snacks. And nowadays, you can get decent tasting protein bars, protein like bakes and all sorts. There's plenty of decent options. Protein bars 20 years ago tasted like cardboard. They were disgusting. But now some of them are actually almost a bit too nice, really. So that's one thing. Control the environment in your car. When you are staying away in hotels, things like that. Easy one is, you can always go jog, go walk, wherever you are. That's easy because you don't need equipment. Gyms at hotels, obviously, if they've got one, usually there's always some dumbbells, cables. There's something you can do to do cable-based dumbbell workouts, kettlebells. You can always put together a workout. You can also do body weight HIIT training in your hotel room. I know loads of people that do it in terms of you can always do squats, press-ups, burpees, ab work. There's lots of things you can do in a hotel room if you want, if it's cold and freezing outside, and like I said, it's better than nothing. The key thing is always remember that is if you do 10, 15 minutes of like some squats, burpees, push-ups, that kind of thing in your room, go walk out of your hotel, do a 20, 30-minute walk. You've got 15 minutes of HIIT and a 30-minute walk. It keeps your activity levels up. If there's no gym in the hotel, I mean, when I travel, I try and book a hotel that's got a gym, or I look for a hotel that's got a gym pretty nearby, and I can just pay for a day pass and go. Because sitting in your hotel room on a night's no fun anyway. So I prefer to go to a gym and listen. You watch a podcast and spend an hour at a gym than sit in my room. It's no fun.
Absolutely. And number third question was, when somebody has an illness, and it just can be a short-term illness, it could be a bug, it could be like having a fever, they were doing really, really well before, and they go down really, really down. How can they bring that momentum back up again in terms of mindset?
Yeah, quality of the questions you ask yourself. So if you are feeling down or you feeling like I was doing so, because this is common, you get people who are doing really well and they might get injured. Oh, I've done my knee in, I've done my back in, whatever. What people then do is they throw the baby out with the bathwater. So instead of focusing on how far they've come, they focus on what they can't do, not what they have done or what they can do. So what I always say is, like, look at me. I've had 12 weeks of at post shoulder surgery. So I could be saying to myself, I can't train, bollocks to it. What's the point? And that's a common thing you hear. People say, well, I can't train. But what I have done is I've done 3 lower body sessions a week. So I've done 3 leg workouts a week while I can't do upper body. I've walked the dog twice a day, every day, holding the lead in my good arm while my other arm's in a sling. So I've hit over 12,000 steps 7 days a week for the last 9 weeks. Not missed a day. While I've been in a sling, while I've been in pain, while I've been on painkillers and all the rest of it. So I've not been able to do what I really want to do, which is full body, upper body, lower body, hard workouts. And I've had to watch in a mirror my upper body go from Johnny Bravo to Mr. Bean. And I've had to watch arms that look pretty decent, look like pieces of string hanging from my shirt. But I can either concentrate on what I can do, which is train my legs to keep my body fat levels as low as possible, get my steps in to control my body fat levels. And in the coming weeks, when I can start to train properly again and build my upper body strength back up. So I'm looking at and I'm excited for the journey of building the muscle back.
Wow. Yeah.
Rather than thinking about being down about what I've lost.
Amazing.
I'm excited about seeing the transformation over the next 12 weeks. So it's controlling the focus of your mind and what you focus on. So you can either focus on what you can't do and what's wrong and what's bad and why me, or you can think, try me.
Wow, absolutely. And one last question. We had somebody in our group ask this question. How do you overcome anxiety in a gym where there's weights? You might feel anxiety, you might feel anxious around people who are doing weights, or in a gym. How do you overcome anxiety?
Well, gym anxiety is about baby steps. So there's a famous phrase by a coach I once worked with, and he used the phrase action beats anxiety. So often anxiety is just fear of what might happen. So once you usually do the thing, you realize it's never as bad as you thought it was going to be, and your anxiety goes from there down to there. Now, sometimes you can't always go 2 feet in and do that over there. So in a gym, if people are anxious about going into the free weights area, they can start off doing machine weights, selectorized, and build the strength up there, build a bit of confidence in the gym, a bit of momentum. And by going in the gym more and more and more, you see more and more people who are like, well, not everyone's super fit. Not everyone's the body beautiful. Not everyone's fitter than me. Not everyone's stronger than me. Not everyone's taller than me. Not everyone's better looking than me. It's just about baby steps until you get. So it's about the famous phrase, being uncomfortable until it becomes comfortable. Because you've got circles, haven't you? Your comfort zones. And when you're in one zone, you step out into that next sphere and it feels uncomfortable. And a lot of people shrink and go back into the comfort zone. But what happens is, if you stay in that circle long enough, you've now expanded your comfort zone. And then you go out to the next ring, stay there long enough without going back. And that becomes, and eventually your comfort zone gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And what made you anxious, now you can do all that and it doesn't make you anxious.
Absolutely. And I loved what you did with the gym is that you have a section where there's all machines and it's to a side. any beginner, anybody who feels anxiety, anyone who has an injury, they can go in at their own leisure, at their own privacy, and try out those small weights. I loved what you did to
Well,
that.
that was the reason for doing that move, was that we realized that if we put machines that for every single body part in one area, just as you come in away from the main gym, you can almost walk straight out the changing rooms, do a full body circuit, and almost go back into the changing rooms without even going on the gym floor if you're nervous. I didn't want to put a sign up saying beginners area because I didn't want to label it, because in truth, anybody can use that area.
Absolutely.
But if you are slightly nervous or getting back into exercise, it's an area that you can use without feeling a little bit intimidated by going onto the big gym floor where it's scary and everybody eats you alive. Because
Absolutely.
that's the common fear of most people when they join a gym. You know, that every single person's going to be fitter, stronger, leaner, more beautiful, more sexy than me. All younger, all sexier, all hotter, all taller, all more beautiful. Every single person will look like that. And I've never been in a gym in the world where that's the case, ever.
Absolutely. Those were my questions. Anybody else, Nadine or Michelle or anybody? I'll go on.
I wasn't going to ask a question. I was just going to say something about anxiety, because I never even went in a gym until I was 50. I'd
Yeah.
done classes, but I don't go in a gym. And I joined our gym because it did a yoga class.
Amazing.
And then 2 weeks in, after joining for a year, they cancelled yoga class. So I came home and my son says, "Why don't you go? Why don't you?" And I said, I want to go in the gym, but I can't. I daren't go in. I don't even know how to turn a treadmill on. I daren't ask anybody. I feel stupid. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't even walk in and walk up to a treadmill. And he said, "Get yourself a trainer." And he recommended something he'd seen around and about. So I got a trainer, and I've gone full circle from being that anxious person who, for half of her life, I hope that's half of my life at least,
Yeah.
didn't go in a gym because she just felt too stupid. It is now my comfort zone. I am so comfortable in there. I will talk to anybody.
Amazing.
And I don't care if I make a tit of myself, because I've seen people make worse tits of themselves than me in my time there.
Absolutely. Yeah. That is amazing. And
yeah. Amazing. That you are the living example there, and a live example of how you can go from that, like we said, where you're anxious, your comfort zone is so small, and suddenly over time you expand your comfort zone. So actually, yeah, I'll try that over there. I'll try, oh, what are they doing? I'll try that. You become oh yeah, I'll do that. I like that. It just becomes a part and an extension of who you are.
Yeah, it's totally transformed me. Yeah. So anyway, that were all I wanted to say.
thank you. Yeah, that's really, really good.
The good thing about that point is you've taught yourself a lesson about that. That's a metaphor that you can go and tackle something you were afraid of and master it. So then once you do that, you think, what other things in life that I'm scared of do I want to go and tackle and master?
Yeah.
So doing things that we're afraid of and doing things that make us nervous, long term expand us as a person, and just give us belief that, well, I tried that and I mastered it. I'm scared of that, but I'd love to have a go. I'm going to try that now. And it can be anything. It can be going on a solo traveling trip alone. It can be anything that you're scared of doing that you now think, well, do you know what? Actually, I went into that gym. I talked to people. There's people who I know. So I could go traveling, because these things, they aren't just in isolation. They build your character, your confidence, and they give you belief that you can do things and achieve things, which is a great story. So thank you for saying that. It means a lot. And as well, just a quickie, yoga.
Yeah.
Getting yoga, hopefully we've got a good one this time. But finding yoga teachers who actually don't, after a few weeks, go, oh, I've decided I'm not teaching anymore now on a Sunday. Just when you think you're getting started with it, it's a nightmare. And because yoga teachers are rare, and half of the time, I don't know, that they're a different breed, I'll put it that way. you put an ad out on different forums and you say, I'm looking for a yoga teacher, Thursday night or Sunday, and somebody will reply and you'll email them and go, yep, you can start this Sunday, and you don't get a response.
Mm.
Just strange. I've never, if you look for a teacher in anything else in a gym, you can usually cover it straight away. But yoga is unlike anything else.
Mm.
I actually missed out the most embarrassing part of my story, and that is after 2 weeks of yoga and it getting cancelled, I went and tried a Zumba class and it made
Mm.
me cry. And I thought it were like final of Strictly Come Dancing, and I came home, and that's actually when my son told me to get in the gym. I think I'm the only person she's ever made cry.
Well,
We're
I,
clearly at a low
I,
ebb.
I think I've got to be honest. I think if I did Zumba or anything like that, I think I'd cry because these moves are yeah. I think the best kept under wraps. These moves that I've got.
I wasn't moving where anybody else were moving. That was problem.
Yeah,
You
no,
need to
I'm
swap
I'm
to
more
club
worried
size.
I'm more worried I'd injure other people if I went.
You need to swap to club size because it's in dark and nobody can see you.
All right, no, I'm never doing Zumba again. That's it. I'm all right with gym.
Yeah, because I've because what I can never master is when I've tried to do any kind of dance class ever before is that when people are going forwards, I'm normally going backwards, and when they're going left, I'm going right, and I'm normally bashing into somebody, so it doesn't tend to end well.
You should dance with me, Miles. We'd go in the same direction.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. When everyone zigs, we zag.
Yeah.
Christmas too.
Yeah,
Christmas too is coming up, isn't it, man?
you're just going to be arranging something. So, any
Yeah.
other questions, guys? Anyone want to ask anything at this point before next week?
No.
Good. All right. Well, let's have a really, really good week. Let's start putting everything together. Connect the dots. Where so far, have a reflection of the last few weeks. If there is any consistent things where you put in crosses, let's now pull it all together and think about, okay, what do I need to do? Get my mind in the right place, ask the right questions every day, choose how I'm going to feel, be grateful, get your mind together. Because ultimately, like I think you get in the pattern of this course that a lot of it starts between the ears, and that then drives everything after that. Yeah. Your consistency of your training, your nutrition, and everything starts between your ears, and then it happens. Well, how you think, what you believe, what you focus on, what you're grateful for, what you track, everything then flows into what you're going to do. Yeah, you think, you believe, and you do. Yeah, what we think all the time becomes what we believe. What we believe we are and what we want to be is what we act upon, and we actually then make it happen. It's like a GPS system. Get your mind right. It's like putting the right postcode into your GPS. You'll get there. So yeah, start connecting the dots. Be the glue. Bring it all together. Nothing in isolation. It all works and interlocks. So start putting it together now. So whatever you think you need, when you reflect upon your weeks and your sheets, your scores, start really bringing it together now. And then next week we'll obviously we're week 6 next week. So we want to look at what we've learned on the journey and start putting things together for your onward journey. All right. Have a great week. Like I said, I'll be in touch in the group this week. Let's have a good one and let's speak next week. All right, guys, knock it out the park.
Awesome. Thank you.
See you guys.
Bye.